life before knowing the Lord was a little more difficult than it is now, obviously. I had a lot of dark days, a lot of days that I was in the car business, so I saw a lot of stuff that was not cool, but a lot of stuff from my past started haunting me. And I just remember that I would pray at night, although I didn't really know who God was, but I knew my mom told us we had to pray. And so I'd pray and ask him for anything. And there was a point in my life where I would even pray that if this is what life was going to be like, that if he would just take me, because it was not where I wanted to be. And it was just dark and just heavy, and it just made things difficult. And the focus was my drive before the Lord was what the world wanted. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to have, the American dream, all those things. And even though I could do that with the job I had, it was not filling at all. It was just really lonely and sad. But I could put on the fake face and move forward. And so it wasn't good. But Jesus came real to me, and this is the part I love. Back to that whole car business thing, is I knew there had to be something out there, but I didn't know. I had no clue. And I had a friend, and we were really good friends, and he had moved to another one of our dealerships. And anyway, we were all just not living our lives right. And anyway, he had I had heard through some other sources that he was really different, and he was acting different, and they were trying to figure out what was going on with him, and I hadn't been able to talk to him. And so finally one day him and his wife asked me to lunch. And so I went, and they were different. Like, they looked different, they were different, they sounded different. And I asked them what was up, and they had went to this conference in Dallas. It was called Pathways, and they told me they wanted me to go, and that they would pay for my weekend to go if I would just get off work. And I was so married to my job, and I was like, I can't go. And so I went, though, and that weekend they kind of help you deal with things and just life. And it was so dark after that weekend, and I was really scared of what my life was going to be like, but freed at the same time. But then I went back for a week, and that week they just help you to deal with life. And then I knew Jesus was a part of this, and so they brought that up kind of as an option. And so I remember one day it was just awful, and that night I had a lot of nightmares, and I had a really bad nightmare. And the next day I was just not certain. And so that night I remember going back to the hotel, and I got on my hands and knees at night, and I just said, Lord, if you're real, make this be real for me. I said, because before this I always would just see dark gray clouds, and I didn't know, there was never any sunshine in my life. And after that night, after I said that prayer, it was just like everything opened up. I was just all these blue skies. It was just incredible. And I knew in an instant, like I felt it inside. I knew he was real. I remember waking up that next morning just excited about life, and it was just so surreal, and everything was brighter. There was colors, there was all these things that I hadn't seen. And it was just amazing, and it was a complete transformation. And I remember going back, and even Mark, my husband, he was like, whoa, what's wrong with you? And it was just a weird thing. But even at work, people would say, you look different. What's wrong with you? Why are you acting different? What's wrong? Did you get a haircut? You look younger. What is the deal? But I fell in love with Jesus that day, and I was 100% sold out for him at that point. So I knew. Life now with Jesus, I mean, it has its ups and downs. It's, there's no guarantee that life is going to be easy, like the Bible says, and it's true. But the difference is I know I can go to him. I know there's something better. There's something that is real. And when you have a bad day, or if there's a huge trial in your life, if you pray and you just spend that time in his word, you're going to get through it. It may be painful, it may be horrible, and you think that you're never going to get through it, but my mantra always is that the battle's already won. I just got to get from point A to point B, and that he's there, and there's no turning back. There's no other option. It's Jesus or nothing. And I champion that in my life, and I'm not always good at it. I fell, but for the most part, I do. I love the Lord, and that's what I want. I know he's it. So yes, life is much, much better than what it was before.